Here we are in the morning of the 6th of December, 1972. Down in Paksay, in the hostel there, most of the helicopter pilots had gotten up and were headed out to the airport, along with their flight mechanics and other crew members. But since we were not going to be scheduled later in the day, I took a leisurely breakfast in the little kitchen area they had there in the hostel, and my co-pilot was already in there, and he was regaling some of the chopper crews that hadn't left yet with all of his plans to develop a farm, to farm lac beetles. The excrement from lac beetles is used to make shellac, which is a happy thought if you ever use shellac to put on anything around in the kitchen or shiny surfaces. But I listened to it for a little while, and he paused, and I said, "Bill, that's nothing but a bunch of bug shit." And broke his bubble a little bit. And as you can hear, there are airplanes coming this way. They're already taking off and heading up Plateau de Boulevards. This day was going to be one airdropping onto the Plateau de Boulevards and 2 fire bases. We took the crew bus back out to the airport, and in operations there was the 2 customers, which codenamed Tall Man and Gray Fox. They were finished briefing the chopper pilots, and they shuttled out, and Tall Man had the areas that we were going to be dropping in, and he gave us a briefing about that. Also there was a Continental Baron parked outside, and the guy flying it was Henry Verbruggen. And when we came out of the briefing area in the little customer shack, he got me aside and he says, "You know, they're probably lying to you." And I said, "Yeah, I know that, because we'd lost a caribou down there a couple of weeks beforehand with the death of all the crew members. And the rumor had it that the helicopters were able to operate in there non-stop and get out without a lot of bullet holes, because the gunners were getting paid extra to shoot down big airplanes." Well, that kind of made sense. But went out to the airplane, and Sampop and Booma, my 2 Lao kickers, were there tying the cargo down. And the procedure would be, I was going to drop 1 track at the first site and a half track. So that would leave us just 1 half track to drop at the second site. Waited till the choppers got off the ground, and we took off and made a leisurely turn to the right over the Mekong River, and then back to Laos and up over the little broken cloud deck, and listened to the helicopters going in and out of these sites. And they weren't getting all excited. You can always tell when there's something going on, because the voice level goes up. They get a higher octane in their voice. But nothing. And as we got within striking distance of the first drop site, the choppers called clear, and I was clear to drop, and asked the customer down there to throw smoke grenades into the area where he wanted the cargo dropped. Okay, got a nice little bubble of smoke coming up in the front of us, and slowed the airplane down and let it sink down, and told Sampop and Booma in the back, "Go ahead and open it up." And you want to be down under 120 knots, and the preferred drop speed would be 105 knots. And with these chutes, I could let them go at 400 feet, and they'd have time to deploy before hitting the ground. And first pass, no problem. I dropped the whole track and put her right in the bullseye. Second pass, dropped half track on the other side. And since the other site I was going to be dropping at was only 15 miles or so away, I told Sampop and Boom in the back, "Leave it open. I'll I'm not going to pick up any speed. I'm just going to let it cruise over there slowly, and then we'll make a pass and drop this half track in one shot and get the hell out of there and go home. They thought that was a great idea. Well, when I came within range of that thing, I talked to the customer, and he'd thrown on the ground, and he'd thrown smoke grenade out where he wanted it. But as I approached the site, he came on the radio, all excited. Big Bird, get out of here, AAA, AAA. Well, AAA is a lot of different flavors. It means aircraft, anti-aircraft. And 50 caliber was usually 4-barreled thing, and it was green tracers coming up. It looked like a hose waving around in front of you. 23 millimeter was the next step up the ladder, and that was an explosive round, and it came out white hot. Normally a 5-round shot, and it had a 5-round clip. Next, you got into the major leagues, and that was 37 and 57 millimeter, big anti-aircraft gun, and those were very explosive rounds. They weren't proximity fused, but they would blow up when they hit the airplane. I did not see anything, but I believed the fella in the ground and brought the power up, told the sound pop and boom to close it up in the back so we didn't get any buffeting, brought the jets up to 100% and jinked on the way out. Well, I didn't see anything, but I'm going to head back to Paxe and tell them about this story. And asked sound pop in the back, did you see anything back there? And he says, yes, Captain. Red balls went by the tail. That was the end word I wanted.